Hi everyone, and welcome to Almost Cancelled. I'm Peter, but you can't see me on the screen. You can see Matt,
Hey, what's up?
you can see Connor.
Hey everyone.
These guys are going to talk about Game of Thrones Season 6, Episode 8. It's called No One. Full spoilers for the episode as always. Take it away, guys.
Alrighty, so this episode can be summed up basically by calling it anticlimactic.
Let's put it mildly.
Yeah, so I'm just gonna go in order of where the story takes place instead of the order of the show. So first, we're in the Riverlands because that's where the majority of the action takes place, and
We wish.
uh, yeah, and we had Sandor, the good old hound. He's hunting down members of the Brotherhood Without Banners and kicking ass, taking names with an axe, which is pretty cool.
Well, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, he's full on Punisher mode, so
Yeah.
that's always good. Um, and then after he kills a group of them, he finds out that their leaders are close and that they're taking care of some business. So he goes up to talk with the leaders, and it's Beric Dondarrion and Thoros from the last time we saw them was season three, right?
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds about right.
And he's the one that showed that you can through R'hllor,
Bring
you
them
can bring
back to
people
life, yeah.
back. Yeah, so Beric's been brought back a bunch of times.
I really like
He's
the
lost.
jokes about it in this
Yeah,
from the Hound. Like
yeah.
that was good.
Doesn't he tell him you're no good at dying?
Yeah, and then when he wants to kill the guys
Hmm.
and he wants to make them suffer and he goes, but they die. He goes, everyone dies. He goes, well, except this guy.
Yeah, that's
It's
right.
good.
So yeah, so he comes across Thoros and Beric hanging the guys that are responsible for killing Septon Ray and the rest of the churchgoers, and he wants a piece of them, so he haggles, which is real funny because he wants all three, but the Brotherhood's like, no, well, we have to deal with this ourselves, so we'll give you one, and he's like, well, two, and they agree, and it was a pretty funny scene, like,
Yeah. It goes on a bit further as well. Like, when it comes to
mhm,
the point where he's kicking off the logs, just before
yeah,
that, it's like, I'll take one if I can hack it in.
yeah, and he also wants to cut off one of their hands
Yeah,
just
yeah.
because.
It's good.
And it leads to Thoros kind of giving like a speech on vengeance versus justice and what they're all about. And they reference that there's a fight up north they need to take part in, which, as one of my friends, Meister Jared, or we'll call him that from here, has pointed out that R'hllor believes in the others, or the followers of R'hllor,
Mm.
which are just basically the walkers,
Yeah.
and so they must got word from Melisandre or through the flame, whatever, that there's stuff going on up there. So they're heading up north to deal with that, and they offer, him, hey, why don't you come?
Yeah, I really like this. I think this might have been my favorite scene of the episode, actually,
Yeah,
because it was one of the only scenes that didn't disappoint in any way.
yeah. Well, we'll get to that because there's some good stuff that was disappointing. Because generally, I liked this episode. I didn't like certain things that happened, which I should be conditioned for now. This is 6 seasons in, you know, but still,
But
and most of
this
it.
is not the usual reasons of not liking it.
No, this was I had steeled my heart for it to be ripped out, only to you know kind of
Yeah,
knock the guy's hand away. So, but yeah, so we go to River Run where Brienne and Pod are riding up, and they meet up with Jamie and Braun, and it's a nice reunion. And Brienne tries to give Oathkeeper back to Jamie because she fulfilled her duty, and he goes, "Nah, keep it." So you have your journey's not over. It's kind of like a passing of the guard.
yeah,
That he's out of the King's Guard. His days of being an actual knight are long gone, but it's still her. And um, he points out that the Blackfish won't surrender. So if Brienne could go and talk to him, they could help each other out. And Brienne kind of reminds him. He goes, "Well, if he doesn't surrender and we come to a fight, my oaths to the Starks, and the Blackfish is their kin, so be prepared." And Jamie's like, "Well, you need to be prepared as well."
yeah.
So
It's
it
not.
was
It's not as much of a
bittersweet.
threat though now, is he?
No, I mean, but still, we see his mind still sharp
He's
as a
got a good
sword.
mind, but
Yeah.
a one-on-one between them two, I know where I'm putting my money.
Well, yeah, but I took that as I don't think they would see each other on the battlefield,
Yeah,
but
it's
it's
true.
just a you're fighting under the other flag.
Mm,
You're fair game.
yeah,
So and then Braun and Podrick have a fun little scene.
yeah, it was pretty fun, but
It's
ultimately
Braun
feels
being
a
Braun
little,
again.
yeah, it kind
Yeah.
of feels a little pointless given some of the stuff that this was a longer than usual episode by a few
Yeah.
minutes, and I
Yep.
feel like this extra time, where did it go except on pointless things like that
Yeah.
instead of things we
Well,
could have had?
well, we had seen. Do you watch the next time on
No,
blurbs? So we had seen early on in the season that someone comes up behind Pod and grabs him,
right.
and they play it up like it's this big deal. And when it turns out here that it's just Braun screwing around. That's
Talk
just the
about messing with
first
your
bit of
expectations.
yeah. There's the first bit of anticlimax.
Yeah,
But so after Brienne leaves, she brings Sansa's letter to the Blackfish, and he's kind of like, "Well, no, this is my home. I'm gonna protect it. I barely know her. I haven't seen her,
yeah.
and I can't tell you how long." Which are all valid points. Is what's more important, his home or the home of some niece that he hardly
But
sees?
that's the thing. He has no loyalty to her.
Right.
She like they're allies through family,
Yeah.
but he has no loyalty to help her get her house over his.
Right. Exactly. And so he's gonna make his stand. He's dug in, and Brienne even counters where she's like, "Well, why don't we just leave through the back, and once we secure the north, we can come back." And he's like, "I've been around too long. There will be no coming back if I leave."
Yeah, I really like the Blackfish.
Yeah, I really do too. And he's had all this build, and he decides he's gonna stay and fight because it's been a while. Um, Although I just jumped a big piece because I try to block it out because that bastard Edmure Tully who. Uh, so we cut to him and he's tied to a post because the phrase know nothing about hospitality,
They really don't.
right? And all I want is the phrase to catch a beating
Yeah,
just for what they've done.
just
They're the shittest house of all the shit houses.
that's the thing though. I think they're the only house that will survive,
Yeah.
even though they are the
Well,
worst.
well, because they're bottom feeders,
Yeah,
right? They're terrible at everything. They have a strategic point, so they'll just lay on that for a while
yeah,
and let that go. So Jamie talks with Edmure and basically extorts him into a deal.
yes. He threatens to catapult his son into the city.
Whom he's never seen,
Yeah,
who's the byproduct of a terrible family day.
yeah. He has no attachment to this
No,
beyond the fact that he knows he exists.
right. And for me, it boiled down to him just wanting to be free
Yeah,
and him
he's
doing
just
what's best
selfish.
for Edmure. Exactly. And from the first time we see this clown, he can't do anything right. Like
Yeah,
he can't light his dad's funeral pyre, and the Blackfish
I
comes and
think. Yeah,
looks it.
and then he gets berated by Rob for
Yeah,
completely undermining their tactical advantage.
yeah. Well, and Catelyn too.
Yeah,
His sister. So it's been a bad time for Edmure.
yeah,
So he goes in to River Run, and the captain of the guard there tells Blackfish, if Edmure comes back, we follow him. He's the Lord. You're not the Lord. Um, and the Blackfish is like, well, that's fine, I guess. But he's pretty salty about it.
yeah. It's kind of like on
And
your heads be it. He knows what's going to happen.
yeah, so, you know, it's just so hard to process all of this. So they allow Edmure in. Basically surrenders River Run to the Lannister forces, and it's basically a bloodless turnover. And there's a couple fighters that are still loyal to the Blackfish, and that's when Blackfish takes his sword and basically tells Brienne she has to go. He'll give her enough time, and he goes to fight, and he says it's been a while since I've had a proper sword fight. And you see Jamie standing on one of the walls, the turrets, overlooking Brienne leaving, and one of his guys comes over, and Jamie's like, "Well, when you find the Blackfish, I'd like to talk to him." And the guy's like, "Oh no, Blackfish died. He died fighting."
I just
And it's like, you're gonna build this guy up. You're gonna give him all these badass moments, and then he's gonna die off screen.
it really pisses me off
Yeah.
how much they just really just fucked him over.
Yep.
I've seen a lot of people saying, "Oh, we didn't see his death, so he could be alive." The usual, but that completely goes against his whole speech he just gave of
Yep.
not running away. He could have left, and he
Well,
didn't.
and that's what he tells Brienne is he's letting her go. Is I'm not one to run away. That's never been me.
Yeah, there's people saying, "Oh, that soldier saying that to Jamie, they've let him go," and it's like,
Yeah.
even if they did, he wouldn't have gone. That was the
Right.
whole point of the scene right before this.
Right.
That's kind of what makes this worse.
Yep. And it's just again, this is worse than Ned or Oberyn or any other of the favorite characters that have died over the time.
Yeah, at least they got their send off.
Exactly. Even Barristan Selmy dies fighting harpies, and he takes out like 12 of them that are
Yeah,
attacking, and he's an old
even
knight.
even Stannis, who dies off screen, technically
Yeah.
is in the midst of a battle that has, like, there's bodies everywhere.
Hmm.
We don't even see a shot of the body of what damage he did. Nothing.
No, nothing. So, River Run, which was, one of my most anticipated things, just a letdown.
And the thing is, I don't understand what the point of this story was now, other than to get Jamie out of King's Landing for 3 episodes.
Yeah, well,
Because he can
it's
go
to
back
put-
now, right?
Well, no, because he's a field general now. He's been kicked out of the Kingsguard.
Yeah, but I thought it was. I thought when he got kicked out, Tommen said to go and take River Run and don't come back till it's ours, or something like
Right.
that. So surely now they've got it, he can go back.
Well, maybe it's good that he's not there
Yeah.
because there's trouble brewing in King's Landing with the Faith Militant.
Damn right.
And King Tommen, who from henceforth will be known as King Tommen the Soft and Pliable. Because
I
that
approve
kid's
of
just
that title.
so King Tom is just a puppet. He gets controlled by all those people. And it's kind of a problem now with the Faith Militant kind of running the city. Cersei's realizing she's lost her power. And so King Tommen's going to have a speech, give out this decree. And basically she's told to stay in the Red Keep. And she's like, no, I'm going to this. And they're like, well, then you come with us. And she says, no. One of them, kind of pokes at Franken Mountain. And he decides he's going to take him out.
You say pokes at him. There are like 4 pretty thick spikes that just kind
Yeah.
of stick in the armor. I'm pretty sure they did go into his chest.
Oh, probably. Probably by normal. But, again, he's Franken Mountain.
Yeah,
Been
yeah.
revived
But
by...
I just want to point out that pokes is a bit of
Yeah.
an understatement for what he did.
Yeah. Because he no-sold it. In wrestling, that's known as a no-sell. So, they kind of get heightened by all this, and the High Sparrow comes down, and Cersei basically says that she's going to choose violence, and she's prepping for this trial by combat. So they get to the where they're going to make the announcement, and Tommen has decided to not stand by his mother, make his mother go sit in the back.
With all the other women.
Yeah,
Her
and
face.
oh man, she's so mad. And then the 2 trials for Loras and Cersei are not going to be trial by combat. They're going to be trial. I can't remember what the actual term was.
By the 7 septums, whatever, yeah.
Yeah, so it's going to be a proper trial. So she can't use Franken Mountain to her advantage as she did against Oberyn when he was just the mountain.
Yeah. It's another one that's a bit disappointing, isn't it? Because
Yeah,
the game bowl
It's-
is gone.
yeah, which I'm kind of glad because that would end with, maybe Sandor not being around. And I kind of, we just got him back.
Yeah, but It's weird because I like that it's not happening because it kind of would have felt a bit fan servicey,
Yeah, definitely.
but at the same time, it's a little bit of a disappointment
Mhm.
because kind of what's the point?
Well, I just wanted to see who the Faith was going to put against the Mountain,
Yeah, that would have been interesting to see.
because where do they go from there? Because he's a product of black magic or black science, whatever he is,
Yeah,
from Kyburn. So who knows? But yeah, so that kind of just leaves Cersei in a bind.
yeah, and it's not just their trials either, is it? It's all trials that it's outlawed for.
Yep. So King
Yeah,
Thomas is henceforth it's a brutal, it's a sign of a forgotten time. Which, yeah, it's not really the most fair because it's whoever gets your,
yeah,
who's ever a better fighter.
yeah,
But then Qyburn goes over to Cersei and she had him investigate the rumor,
yeah.
and he remarks that there's a lot more from his little birds.
I've seen some rumors of what this might be, some
Mm-hmm.
thoughts. I don't know if you've seen these.
No.
So it was during Bran's vision a couple of episodes ago,
Uh-huh.
where you see bits of the past and stuff, but you see the
Mm-hmm.
wildfire. You see like the
Yeah.
Mad King talking about the wildfire, and then you
Right.
see it all going off.
Explode.
But he never got to do that,
Right.
so that must be from the future.
Yeah.
So
Because
the idea
that
is
was his whole
that's
entire
yeah,
plan, was to burn down King's Landing before
yeah.
Robert's forces
Obviously,
could get
he
there.
never got to do it, and so there's
Right.
this stockpile of wildfire sitting somewhere.
Somewhere. Right. That makes a whole lot of sense.
So the idea is that maybe Cersei is gonna burn down Baela's sept.
Mm.
Is what she's thinking of doing. Pretty intense.
Play with fire, bound to get burned.
Yeah. But
Right.
this is another reason why I'm a little bit sad Clegane Ball's not happening. Because I'd have loved to see the Hound there when that went down.
Yeah. Well, see, that's what I liked with the concept of when, um, what's his name from Deadwood? He was Septon Ray, but
Yeah,
when
McShane.
McShane, thank you. When he said he's the guy that brings him back, I had assumed he was a follower of Valor. So that would have made the Hound being revived by the Lord of Light, which would have made a nice little irony
Yeah, it would have
in
been
his
really cool.
character. And now he doesn't fear the fire, and that's one less thing,
That would
his
have been a
brother
great
faces
moment if
against
he
him.
went back when all this wildfire was going off and he could
Yep,
just not be bothered by it anymore.
right. That'd been cool. But they've taken that from us in more ways than one now.
Yeah.
And then we jump to some pretty pointless stuff in Marine. Varys leaves, which I didn't quite catch really why. I mean, I know he's going to go try to find allies, but
He's going to do a pact with someone. I mean, the only things I can think of are the Ironborn.
yeah. And I mean, they're right around the corner. Like, they
Yeah.
were in Volantis, right?
Yeah.
Last time. So they're right around the corner from Marine. I mean, if they can get from Westeros that quick,
Yeah.
then. So, yeah, and Tyrion, he notices that the Red Priests are they're doing the pro Khaleesi stuff. That she is basically the Azor Ahai,
Yeah.
the promised one. Um, and he kind of just, you could tell he has some misgivings about all this now.
Yeah, definitely.
Because it seems like that's the last thing Daenerys needs is a moral warship. She needed to be brought down a peg,
Yeah.
and that's what kind of Tyrion was there for. So he shares a scene with Grey Worm and Missandei where they tell jokes and drink wine, which is kind of a parody of Tyrion's character.
It's kind of awkward to watch as well.
Yeah.
I don't think it was that good.
No. It's a waste of Dinklage.
Yeah,
This
I
entire
thought we'd.
season basically has been outside of the dragon scene.
Yeah, I thought we'd kind of moved past this for Tyrion. That was like
Yeah.
season one, maybe two of
Yeah.
that stuff. But he's evolved since then. It kind of
Yeah.
feels like since he's come across the sea, he's
Mhm.
just kind of reverted to that.
He's been perpetually drunk.
Yeah,
So, but it was cool to see Grey Worm and Miss Andy get some more FaceTime because you don't get to see them as people. I mean, they're the interpreter and the fighter.
yeah,
So, but I mean, again, when you're talking about stuff that was padded, you have the Braun stuff and this stuff that kind of could have been cut, and
Yeah, or at least cut down a bit.
yeah, and
Especially
but it
given
all
what this leads into, which,
yeah, it was very unbalanced,
yeah.
right? So the masters have come in. They want their property, um, and they're starting to attack Marine, and they're trying to decide what to do, and they're basically going to defend the pyramid when Daenerys just pops up, flying on Drogon.
Oh, we don't.
And
This is what's really disappointing me. We don't see her
no,
doing anything.
it no, it's hinted at that she arrived on the pyramid with her dragon and just pops in to say what's up.
Yeah, we see her the door open, her walk in, and
Yeah,
Drogon kind of flying off in the distance.
yeah.
I suppose the assumption is she's already taken out the
But
ships.
and that again, the anticlimax is we don't see any of this.
No, not a thing.
And I get not showing so much Drogon because of, CG
CG
money.
budget, yeah, but something.
But yeah, and no. Of course not. She just boom. Deus Ex
The thing
Khaleesi.
is that's worse about it is I'm not actually sure of what the outcome is. Did she arrive and come into straight to the pyramid, or has she already taken out all the ships? I'm not sure what's going, because it sounded like the battle was still going on.
Yeah,
Then we
so
hear
what
the
I'm
thud of
thinking
Drogon landing.
Yeah, so what I'm thinking is like Drogon's gonna take out some of the ships if there's gonna be too many. And here comes the Ironborn fleet,
Yeah, it could be.
right? And they're gonna provide some backup and the boats that Khaleesi needs to get
It's just yeah.
the call, not the calls, the Dothraki. There you go. There. But yeah, so all the Marine stuff again, this used to be one of my most like look forward to stories a couple seasons ago. Like when she was just going and freeing cities willy nilly. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, it was kind of seeing her power trip and almost how far could she go.
Yeah. And again, I still feel, I talked with this with Alan, is I still feel she's become a villain now. When she burned all those calls,
Yeah,
that was
but
her
I really
origin
liked
story.
her storyline up to there
Yeah.
in this season, but then why was this here? I don't understand what purpose any of her stuff in this episode served.
Right? And this is, again, we haven't really seen her since then. I mean, we saw her with Jorah to send him off, and then we saw her get Drogon, you know?
Yeah, and then
It's been
and
it.
this. Yeah,
Yeah. It's really just skidded to a halt.
it really has.
But, you know, all in due time, they're really speeding up the clock now.
Yeah,
So she's not just sitting in temples and talking with people. So that's a bonus, I guess.
it is, but I wish we could see some of what she's doing.
Yeah. That'd be nice, right?
Yeah.
That's, again, with this episode, there really a lot of the stuff that we should be seeing.
It's one basic rule. Show don't tell.
Right.
It's not that hard.
No, not at all. And to round everything off, which I mean, is a really condensed episode as far as places. Um, and the last place we're going to visit is Bravos in Arya, and it really is the end of her no one story, which thank God, or thank the gods, however you
This
want
has
to say
gone
it.
on far too long.
Yeah, and so she's hanging out with the actress troupe, and she finds the one actress that she stopped from drinking the poison.
Yeah.
Um, she goes to for her to help, and she finds her all wounded, and she nurses Arya back to half health. It's not quite full.
Yeah.
With a fun story about how she can stitch people up, and she had horrible ex-husbands that they'd get in a fight, they'd hit her, so she'd stab them, and she'd heal them, and they'd do it all again.
Yeah, it was pretty amusing.
Yeah. Just because was that true, or is she going on her acting,
Yeah,
to
I'm
put
not
Arya at
entirely
ease?
sure.
So, but it was nice. It was a nice little moment that could have been quite dark.
Hmm.
Um, and she says
And then it
thanks
did
to,
get
well, yeah, but she also says, thanks to Arya that, she, kept the other girl from ever wanting her role by mutilating her face. So that's great. The,
Yeah.
the, the woman's got some skills and offers Arya to join them, but Arya's, says that she wants to go west, more west than Westeros, and find out what's there. And because she's had this journey, she knows who she is now.
This is something I don't get though. The whole point of this journey, from what I can gather, is that she accepts that she is Arya Stark of Winterfell.
Yeah,
Yet she immediately wants to just fuck off to the other side of the world instead.
yeah. Well, because there might be another Assassin's Guild there that might train her in another way.
I just,
But yeah, this was so weird because the whole point of her was to go home
yeah. But
and
instead
and
she's
take
like, nah, I want to go
vengeance
somewhere
on
else.
on her list. But no, she's gonna go west to the edge of the world, which I was just like, okay, that's a curveball, and the lady gives her some stuff to knock her out, some painkillers, whatever. She passes out, and the waif finds her because, of course, that's what they do, and just mutilates Lady Crane. Like the dot did not look like a good death whatsoever.
Yeah, that was uncomfortable.
Yeah,
Straight down on that chair.
yeah,
Ouch.
and yeah, definitely ouch. So a chase scene happens with Arya running through Bravos, and I guess she thinks she's in Assassin's Creed because she tries to take this leap and just eat shit hard down these stairs,
She's
taking
really
out.
hoping there's a bale of hay underneath her.
Yeah,
It's just
and
not there.
there's barrels of oranges and apples and lemons that she proceeds to knock down.
I think they'd be really uncomfortable to roll on as well. Even on
Yeah,
top of the steps, you got all these extra bumps. It's like, ugh,
yep.
it's just uncomfortable.
Bad news. And her wounds reopen, um, and so she's in bad shape. I'm almost thinking, are they actually going to kill Arya here? And if they do, at least it's closure. I don't have to worry about her anymore.
You almost want it to, just so they can't make it any
Just
worse.
because we're done. But no, she ends up going back to where she, hid her sword,
Yeah.
and the waif closes in on her, and she pulls out her sword, and just like what was his name, Syrio Farrell, her
Yeah.
sword instructor,
Yeah.
she decides to make that water dance and cuts the light. Which then I went from just get this over with to oh hell yeah,
That's the
like
thing. That was such a cool moment. But
uh,
her whole thing this episode made me even more annoyed at last week.
yeah,
Because I complained about it last week on here that it was way out of character. And now it seems even more out of character because I don't get what the point of it
so
was.
so I think the whole thing was she was trying to draw them out.
But see, this is
Or
what I don't get because
uh
why did she have to bother? She could have just gone back off to Westeros and fucked off instead of having
yeah,
to show off her money.
but then again, then she has that open ended, where she has to constantly be having her over her shoulder,
Sure, but
wondering if
then
the face
either
is going to
way,
come.
I still don't think that like last week they ended with her going over the water, right?
Right.
And it's like, well, she could have the waif. Why the hell didn't she wait for more than 3 seconds?
Yeah.
Even if she was dead, surely her body would have floated back up because she didn't have anything weighing her down.
Right.
Like she would have just come back up and popped up as a dead body, and you'd be like, okay, she's dead. Or she'd popped up the way she did. You go, right, she's not dead. I got to finish my job. And that leads to the question: is how does the waif know she's not dead in this episode?
Right.
Because the end of the last one made it look like she assumed that her job was done.
Yeah. It is sloppy writing based off of that.
Yeah.
Just
I can't think of any way around it. If anyone knows a way around it, let me know because it's bothering me.
yeah.
It really is.
Yeah. Now you have me thinking about that, and I don't like that. It was nice and clean cut that she was drawing them out, so she didn't have to worry about it. She could prove to Jakin that
But
thank
she
you.
didn't. Yeah, but she didn't
Yeah.
finish her job, so she didn't do a very good job of it.
Right. Yeah. So she goes back to the well. We find out that she goes back to the House of Black and White,
Yeah.
and there's blood on the ground. So we don't know really who won this fight. Jacob looks up in one of the where they keep the faces. I guess it's a chamber of some kind. And there's the waif's face with two X's over her eyes.
Yeah.
And Arya holds Jake in at sword point and is just, he's like, well, yeah, you couldn't be no one. You were always Arya.
Yeah.
You know?
See, I know I saw someone in our Facebook group wrote a comment about the twist. This could be a twist, and part of me wants it to be true just for the ridiculousness.
Yeah.
That the waif won and cut off her own face and wore Arya's as a way of proving to Jaqen that she is no one. It's like that would be so maddeningly ridiculous that I almost want it to
Yeah,
be true.
it's so convoluted.
Yeah, but it's so
But yeah.
ridiculous and out there that it's just like that'd be so great just to watch the internet melt.
Right. Yeah. I mean, there's been crazier theories out there.
There are,
I mean, there's
which
the
is
whole,
actually
there's
there's
the
a
whole
few
theory last
about
week.
Arya, which is really disappointing. Yeah,
Yeah. Well, there was a couple last week that it was Jaken basically testing the waif.
yeah, that was one of them. There was the one
So,
that Arya, the whole thing. She never really got stabbed. It was blood bags, and it was all fake. Like she borrowed blood bags from the actress so that it looked like she was stabbed. There's obviously the one the split personality one that the waif is her. You know,
right.
there's been this whole bunch, and it's like it has turned out just to be the simplest solution because that does tend to be the
Occam's
case.
razor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but it's kind of the most boring at the same time.
Of course. I do like that this is over and that she learned to be a warrior without having to lose herself. But she also tells Jaken that she's going home when she says, basically, I am Arya Stark of Winterfell and I'm going home, which contradicts what she told the
Yeah,
actress lady
yeah.
about going to the other side of Westeros. So who knows? But yeah, so I thought it was a great ending for a mediocre episode.
It was a great ending, but it wasn't worth the 2 season storyline that it took to get to it.
No, definitely not. Because she basically she buried her sword and got her sword,
Yeah,
and
essentially. That took
that's
2 seasons.
well, and learned how to sell oysters in the hot Mediterranean style climate.
I get okay. She buried the sword.
Uh-huh.
She learned the ability to fight while blind,
Mm-hmm.
and then she accepted that she's her and decided to go home.
Right.
That's it.
Huh. Well, that is it.
I just don't think that should have taken 2 seasons, frankly.
No, but that's I think with the books is they were in a holding pattern for the last season.
Yeah,
Season
season
five was a
five.
holding pattern.
Yeah, it was.
So, and this is making up for a lot of that still, especially with next week's episode.
Yeah, it's extra length. It's an extra 10 minutes. I
Yeah.
hope they actually make use of the extra time this time.
And I think they will because all of the next time on is the Battle of Winterfell. Also
Yeah, I
known
think the
as
episode's called "The Battle of the Bastards," isn't it?
Battle of
So
the Bastards and Bastard Bowl 2016.
yeah,
You know,
it should be good. I hope it's good. And
I
obviously,
do too.
the last episode is an extra 20 minutes. It's 70 minutes long, so
Well, that's good.
it's a lot of extra time that they.
Well, and we know
Yeah.
that the next seasons are going to be shorter,
Yeah,
but some of the episodes are going to be longer.
yeah,
So, which I like. I like that they're going to try to do that, and they are going to milk it though, kind of like Breaking Bad did
yeah, a
for
little
the
bit.
last season. But hey, more power to them if they can do that.
Yeah.
So, I'm very excited for next week's episode because it's the ninth episode, and that's usually when the biggest oh shit happens.
Do you think they'll pull a what was it, season 4, the Battle at the Wall, where the whole thing was just in the one location?
Yeah.
Do you think they'll do
I
that?
think so. Yeah, because that's all what the next time on was
Was it okay?
just carnage and one standing above an army and the Boltons letting loose arrows and the wildlings looking scared and not knowing what to do.
The
'Cause they're
giant
not
going
used to
in,
fighting a-
hopefully.
Yeah, they're not used to fighting a proper army.
Yeah.
But my hope, and this is all prognosticating, is that some of the houses that are loyal to Bolton are only loyal while waiting for the Starks.
I
And
would think that is the case. I can't see
yeah,
any other way that they can win. And I can't see them killing Jon Snow again already.
no,
That's the weird thing about this. I feel like I know the outcome. I mean, what would be the point of bringing him back just to kill him
Yeah.
again?
The worst case scenario is that they lose and Sansa is back to the Boltons.
I can see
Right.
Sansa and Rickon dying
See, I
as a
can't-
worst case.
Yeah, I see.
Rickon feels like he's there just to be pulled out like Edmure now, because we saw him once when he was there as when he was brought in as a captive.
Right?
Last time we saw him was what, 2 seasons ago? Before that,
Yeah.
and they brought him in to remind him, basically remind us he's alive, and
He's there.
yeah, and he's going to get pulled out as a captive to make them surrender. I think.
I think in the craziest way, he's the trump card in which he'll get loose of his shackles and murder Ramsay.
I think the key thing is he's the only one with the Stark name that can rally the houses,
Right.
because for all intents and purposes, Bran is gone.
Right.
Sansa is essentially a Bolton or a Lannister, depending on whether you want to look. Either way,
Yeah. How you keeping count according to
yeah.
under
Whose laws of
Lyanna
marriage? Yeah,
Mormont.
yeah. Obviously, Jon's a Snow, so he doesn't count. So it's
For now.
literally only Rickon.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, even if they beat the Boltons, they're still rebels in the north.
Yeah, they definitely are.
But we'll see where that is. We also have Littlefinger in his army of the Vale, and see who he's gonna screw over. Because
Yeah,
less than human piece of garbage. That guy.
he's gonna pull a
Oh.
Gandalf in Lord of the Rings. He is, isn't he? Gonna ride
Mhm.
in at the end like that. All
Yeah.
looks lost, and then
Yep. Yep. So, but yeah, so that's episode 8, the little preview of episode 9, and yeah, Game of Thrones for this week.
Thank
So-
fuck. Thank fuck. You're over 40 minutes, you bastards. You're
Yeah.
over 40 minutes.
Yo, Bastard Bowl next week though.
Oh,
that's
dear.
probably gonna be a big one.
Right, Jesus. Right, that's Game
We
of
had a
Thrones.
preview. Come on, man, you
Yeah.
got to
That
preview the game. You don't like sports. If you like sports, you'd know there's massive previews.
Yeah.
That's Game of Thrones for this week. I'm not dragging this out by arguing with anything you just said. That's just it. Let us know in the comments below what you thought of the episode, as always, and like and subscribe and all that jazz. I'm not going to drag this out. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll see you next time.